Hello again and welcome back to English Literature a Click Away. So we have the third video from the series Tenses and we will be discussing the third tense, that is future, in this video. So Shakespeare once said, "We know what we are, but we know not what we may be." So no one exactly knows what they are going to be in future. So let's learn about the future tense. The general classification of tenses again brushing up on the structure of how tenses are formed. So we have seen the present and past tense in the previous videos and we are focusing on future tense in this one. So again, future tense is further divided into simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. So if you look at the structure, it takes the same main verb form that is taken by the present. The only difference here in future tense is addition of the auxiliary or the modal will or shall, depending upon first, second or third person. So basically the first person uses the modal shall, that is I shall or we shall. It may be used in other cases as well under certain conditions, but here we are going to focus on tense. So the future tense will have an addition of will or shall and a form of be plus with or without the word have. That is what would make it different from the present tense. So action that is happening in present, we are assuming it will happen in future, hence the word will. For example, the verb in simple future will be will go. In case of future continuous or progressive, it will be will be going. In case of future perfect, it will be will have gone. And in case of perfect continuous, again there's addition of have and will, so it will be will have been going. So let's look at the future tense in detail. The first classification, that is simple future tense. Now this tense is used for a plan or decision that is made to do something. So something you're planning for in future to be done, there we go with simple future tense. So the rule goes like this: subject. So subject is the noun that is doing the action or around which the action revolves. So subject, will or shall, depending on the person of the subject, first, second or third, plus first form of verb plus object. So if you see, there's only one difference in future tense from the present tense, that is the addition of will or shall. So for example, Stephen, third person, will go to school. I or we both take up the modal shall go to school. So I shall go to school or we shall go to school. They will go to school. Coming to the second one, that is future continuous tense. So this tense is used to express an action that will happen at a particular moment in future. So at a particular given time in future, the action that will be happening. So we use future continuous tense there. So the rule goes like this: subject, again will or shall, plus be, plus root form of verb plus ing plus object. So continuous, hence root form of verb plus ing. The future part is taken care of by will or shall be. I've given the same colors to the words that correspond to the element of the tense. For example, future is green, continuous is yellow. So let's look at the examples. Stephen will be tells us that it is happening in future. Going, go plus ing, to school on Monday. So we are talking about an action that is going to happen at a particular time in future. So Stephen will be going to school on Monday. In case of first person, I or we, shall or will. Now it is not necessary that you stick to shall in case of first person. You may use will as well. So it's I or we, shall or will, be going to school on Monday. So shall or will be takes care of the future part, and going, again root form of verb plus ing, is the continuous tense, to school on Monday. Now unlike other tenses in future tense, continuous does not here imply that the action is going on. Okay, at present. It here means that at a particular time in future, the action would be happening. They will be going to school on Monday. In case of plurals, it is they. Will be is the future. Going is the continuous part, to school on Monday. Coming to the third classification, that is future perfect tense. Now this tense is used to express an action that will occur and will be completed in future and before some other action or time in future. So we are talking about an action that will happen in future before something else is going to happen or at a given time. So it will be completed then. So the rule goes like this: subject plus will or shall have. Now, since it is perfect, it is third form of verb. Remember that third form of verb is only and only used for perfect element and object. So will or shall have will take care of the future element, and the perfect element of the tense is taken care of by third form of the main verb. So coming to the examples, Stephen will have, that is in future, gone to school when you come. So gone is third form of the verb go. So Stephen will have gone to school when you come. So we are saying that when you will be coming, Stephen would have already gone to school by that time. So that is what the future perfect tense implies. That in future some action would be completed before some other action that would be happening after that. In case of first person, I shall have. So we take a different example here of a main verb, prepare. So I shall have prepared the notes by that time. So we are saying that in future at some particular time, say when your friend is arriving or when you are about to go out to play, I shall have prepared. So by then I shall have takes care of the future part. Prepared is the third form of the verb prepare. So it is the perfect part, and I shall have prepared the notes by that time. In case of plural, again I have taken the first person example. We shall have prepared the project by then. So in future, at that particular time that somebody might be mentioning, we say that we shall have prepared the project by then. Coming to the last of the classifications for future tense, it is future perfect continuous. Now this describes an action that will complete a time period in future at a particular time. So the difference between future perfect and perfect continuous is that future perfect talks about an action that is completed in future at a particular time, whereas future perfect continuous talks about the time period that will be completed by that action, for how much time that action will be going on at a particular time in future. So the rule goes like this. Now there are two additions here. If you remember in present and past tense also, the perfect continuous part had addition of time period or mention of time. Now in future perfect we have two additions. We will have, of course we'll have the particular time in future. We will also have the time period that is completed by the action. Okay, now these may be interchangeable. The place may be interchangeable in the sentence. So the rule goes like this. At a particular time in future, we have subject will have, that is the future part. Been, now been is third form of the verb be. So it takes care of the perfect element of the tense, perfect continuous. So subject will have been, root form of verb plus ing, that is the continuous part, plus object. And the addition time period completed by this action that is mentioned in the root form of the verb. Okay, so for example, let's look at the example to make it clear. In November, now this is a particular time in future, that is November, that is to come. In November, Stephen will have, future part, been living in London for 2 years. So in November, in coming November, Stephen will complete 2 years of living in London. That is what it means. So it is put in the form of future perfect continuous tense. So in November, Stephen will have been living in London for 2 years. This is the time period, addition of time period that is completed by the action of living. Another example, I will have been working for 3 years with the company next year. So here we are talking about the coming year, the next year. That is the particular time in future. If you see, the places for the time period and the particular time in future are interchanged in the sentence. So that can be done. Sometimes the time period comes first or the particular time mentioned comes first. So here we have I will have in future been, that is perfect. So some action that is going to be completed. Working, I will have been working. Working is the continuous part. For 3 years, I will have been working for 3 years. This is the time period. So the time period that is completed by the main action, that is working. So I will have been working for 3 years with the company next year. So the coming year, I will complete 3 years working for this company. That is what it would imply. With that, we come to an end of this video that explains the future tense. We have already discussed the present and past tense. So you may go back and check. I'll share the link in the description box. So this was the last video of the series tenses. So stay tuned to watch more such videos related to class 10th, CBSE, English language and literature. Happy learning.